Okay. Okay, so we'll get started. This will be really short. I only have, looks like 4 questions for you.
Okay.
And my first one is, why did you choose Philippe Sesson to come speak at your Vistage chair meeting?
So Philippe Sesson is somebody that is known in the Vistage chair community as being somebody that members can really have a lot of takeaways from and relate to and find great value. So I'm very selective about the speakers that I bring in. They're spending 3 or 4 hours with my members, and I'm very careful to find out who ahead of time is going to really bring content that's actionable and do it in a way that keeps them engaged. So those are the 2 things I look for.
Interesting. Okay. So what was his presentation about?
So Phil's presentation was about how to be a disruptive CEO. And I enjoy the fact that, you know, he made the point, everything is moving so quickly in business right now that if you're not proactive and being the disruptor, you will be disrupted, which is not the end of the curve that you want to be on. So I think he made a very good case for staying plugged into sort of trends, technology, cutting edge ways of being in the marketplace. And it really connected with the members pretty strongly.
Okay. Can I ask how large or small your group was? How many people would you say were there?
I have a CE group of 16 members, and I have a key group of 14 members. So they're both pretty good sized groups.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so small and able to really speak to him one-on-one. I know he can be very boisterous and helpful and really want to help people specifically with their questions. Were there a lot of questions?
You know, he went around the table and talked to each person individually about what their challenges were and how he could help them.
Right.
So with each person, he addressed sort of what it was about his presentation that piqued their interest and where they wanted to go deeper, and then actually spent some time with each person kind of helping them, which was phenomenal. I haven't seen a speaker do that before, but it meant that each person actually had something that was specifically tailored for them.
Right. Okay. So you saw the reaction was good. What do you think about your audience's reaction to his?
It was very good. It was very good. Yeah. Philippe is very approachable and down to earth, which my California CEOs and leaders like. Somebody that doesn't come across sort of stuffy or old school. So that, you know, they like that he's very, very kind of real, down to earth, approachable, but at the same time, he's obviously an expert in his field. So to be able to bring both of those things is a very good thing, and it's you know, don't often find that together. I think they appreciated that. So yeah, it was very well received. I got good feedback about it, and Philly continued to kind of stay in touch with me afterwards and to offer resources to anybody who needed it or direction, which I appreciate.
Okay. So were you able to ask him questions as well for yourself?
Oh yeah, actually, Phil met me for dinner the night before, which I really appreciate as a chair. Some of us like to do that, so we did that. We went through who was in the group and what the members needed and where the group was at, and that kind of allowed him to customize a little bit. So I asked him a lot of questions then, and then during the meeting, some questions as well.
Okay. Was there anything specific that you two spoke of between yourselves that really stuck out to you? Anything at all? Maybe some advice he gave you or new information that you hadn't considered before, or anything that he gave?
You know, I just think that his paradigm around baby boomers and millennials working together is very interesting, because I work more likely with Gen X or baby boomers at the table, but most of them employ millennial people. It's an important conversation, and he has a very fresh perspective on it and outlook. So I think that was helpful to kind of reframe things a little bit. And he also did that with the group as well, to try to kind of break down barriers between the two groups, because there's very different ways of seeing the world and of working
Right.
and of reasons for working and all of that. So I think that was very valuable for me.
Okay. So I guess my last question is based on what you found valuable. Is there a way you'll be implementing the information that you gathered?
You know, I already am going to be using Scoop It probably. I'm just looking right now at bringing in an intern to work on social media for me. And I was talking to somebody about the idea of using Scoop It for content and then content curation. So that's a very specific targeted type of thing. And then bigger picture, I think, is just this idea of challenging my members when I do the one-to-ones and challenging them to really consider what technology, what trends are happening, how can they be disruptive. And so as a coach, you know, that's kind of my job, is to bring the questions. And this kind of just reminds me to make sure that that's something I'm always kind of pushing on to make sure they're on the leading edge.
Great. Well, is there anything you'd like to add that I haven't asked you about?
You know, the other thing that came to me is that I think we all have information overload. We have no lack of places to find information and ideas out there. It's just everywhere, from, you know, TED.com to the videos we're pushed and all that kind of stuff. But to find somebody who can bring meaning and context and kind of curate that content like Phil does, I think is very valuable. So for me, it's not just kind of the information, but it's sort of the package and how he delivers it and making it approachable.